Alright, hey, Hades Omega here, and welcome to my Toyota Previa retirement ceremony video, alright, or vlog. So, I'm gonna be retiring this van soon, and so here's the story why. I want to get a newer car, okay? I want to get a newer vehicle, and this is a 1991 Toyota Previa, so I want to get something 2021, alright? That's what I say, alright? So, Hades Omega is not a stranger to owning minivans. This is actually my third minivan that I've owned, okay? I used to have a 1992 Pontiac Transport, and that was a great van. It had a lot of power and everything, but like all the electronics and stuff went bad on it. It was just not a reliable van, unfortunately. And then I had an 86 Toyota van, cargo van, alright? And that was a great van too. I had a 310,000 miles on that van before I sold it, okay? It was a 5-speed manual cargo van, and I love that van a whole lot. And I had both of these vans at the same time, alright? And then I wound up selling the Toyota van because one, I couldn't have two minivans, right? And I was using the vans for work at the time, all right? I used to deliver packages in the vans, and that's what I did with them, all right? And vans are great for that. The only thing is just they don't have a whole lot of space to sort the packages is the problem, all right? So definitely, if you're looking for something with a lot of cargo space, minivans, that's the good stuff right there, okay? But anyway, so the story is, yeah, I had the Toyota van and the Previa at the same time, and then I wound up selling the van because it didn't have cruise control and it didn't have AC. I didn't want a van with anything, and it was a cargo van. It had like no interior. It was freaking bare bones. Okay, so it needed like an engine rebuild pretty bad, all right? And it wasn't really good at towing anything. It didn't have a lot of towing accessories for it, is what I'm gonna say. All right. So yeah, I had bought this at the same time I had bought the cargo. I still had the cargo van still, and then when I stopped doing that job, I wound up keeping this van instead. Okay, because this van has cruise control, it has AC, it has interior. All right, it has more power. It has hauling power, is what I'm gonna say. Was it faster than the Toyota van? Not really. It was about the same. The Toyota van didn't weigh anything. There was nothing in it. It was like ridiculously light. And I think if I had gotten in some kind of accident with that van, it probably wouldn't have been good. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So that's one of the reasons I kept the Toyota van instead. It's more luxurious than that van. That's what I'm gonna say. I wanted the cruise control and I wanted the AC. All right. So fast forward. I bought this van in 2011, all right. Fast forward to now, it is now August 2021. So I've had this van more than a decade, and I'm finally gonna retire it. All right. So here's the story how I got this van. So my cargo van needed a new head gasket. Okay, I needed to send it to the shop and have them do it. I mean, I could have probably done it myself, but I didn't. I was using it for work, and I needed it done right away. So while that van was getting fixed, I figured like, hey, why don't I go look for another van? And I was looking at Toyota Previas. Okay, Toyota Previa is the Toyota Previa is the van that came after the Toyota cargo or the Toyota van. Okay, they just called it a Toyota van. Around the world, they call it a Town Ace. Okay, so and they still do sell Previas around the world. They're called Estimas. Okay, they're not. In my opinion, I like the Previa better than the Sienna. So, okay? But anyway, I was looking around for some Previas. I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I think I want to get a Previa. Like it's similar to the Town Ace or Toyota van. So I want to get the same thing. You know, Toyota builds these things to last a long time. Okay? and sure enough, this van does have a whole lot of miles on it, and it's still running. All right. And I'll go over the stuff that I like about this van and the stuff that I don't like about this van, and we'll take a look at my van. All right, so that's what's going to happen in this video, and then yeah, so fast forward to now. I want to retire the van. what I'm doing is I'm having the van retired or scrapped. Okay, I'm sending it to a scrapyard. Unfortunately, yeah, this awesome van is going to be going to the junkyard. Is what's going to happen. My local pick and pull. So maybe I'll be able to pull some parts off of it. Well, it's a junkyard. I don't know, man. But anyway, the story is I wanted to get. I kind of have a lot of vehicles right now. I have a Toyota Prius and I have this van. All right, so my idea was I want to get something that combines the fuel economy of the Prius, but the utility of the Previa. Okay, and so I'm gonna get a RAV4. Okay, so that's the idea. All right, the RAV4 is like a really big Prius, is what it is. Okay. And I'm gonna get a RAV4 Prime. All right, so that's the story. So check that video out when I do get it. But this one is gonna go to the scrapyard when I get my RAV4 Prime, and it's gonna be retired, unfortunately. But the Clean Cars for All program is a program where they'll take your older vehicle car, like 15 years or older. They're trying to get these older vehicles off the road so you can drive something more modern and cleaner. Okay, like a zero emissions. For the most part, the RAV4 Prime is zero emissions, and it doesn't put out a lot of emissions when the engine is running. It's very efficient. Okay, and that's one thing that the Previa is not. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So that's the story. I wanted to get something that could combine the two vehicles together, and I think the RAV4 Prime will do the trick. Okay, unfortunately it doesn't have the size of the Previa. This thing is enormous. Okay, we're gonna take a look at it and I've been all over the place. After I retired this as a delivery van, I used it to go do motorcycle track days and stuff, and to do camping. It's basically a mini RV is what I used it as. Okay, there's plenty of room to go, lie down in it for sure, man. The RAV4, I'm not so sure yet. We'll see when I get it. Okay, but anyway, let's go take a look at my Toyota Previa. All right, I call this the battle van. Okay, kind of like a battleship, but it's a battle van. I did make a previous video about this van on my channel. I will put a link to it at the end of the video if you want to check that out. That was when this van was a little bit younger. Okay, you can see it look a lot nicer back then. So say, it hasn't aged so gracefully as well. Oh, I didn't go over the story of how I got the van. All right, how did I get the van? When Hades May was looking for a van, I was looking for I was looking for Toyota Previa, something big, something big that would be useful to drive. And I was thinking, hey, Toyota Previa, and I liked having a manual transmission van. It was really nice. I feel like you feel more. It feels more direct, and you can control it better. I really liked the 5-speed in the Toyota van. I don't like the 5-speed in the Previa as much, is what I say. Okay, but anyway, so I was looking for a Previa. I found two. I actually found two that was 5-speed Previas, and I knew my uncle had a 5-speed Previa because I think we went on a trip to San Francisco, and I got to drive it in San Francisco. Okay, a while back. So that's how I knew my uncle had this van. And then so he wound up not driving it for a while. Is the story. And I guess his brother-in-law was the one that was driving it a whole lot. It did many trips to LA is what I'm going to say. These vans are known for being super reliable. If you keep up on the maintenance, they'll run forever. I've seen one in the junkyard with like more than 300,000 miles on it, and it still looked pretty damn good. Okay, true story. I saw one in the junkyard, and it looked good. It looked like it was still in good shape, but it had like 300,000 miles on it. Amazing, right? So yeah, these vans are like super reliable. Toyota really over-engineered these vans. Okay. And yeah, so I found a silver one I think it was in Fremont. I went to go look at it, and it was and I think I had looked at this van too, or maybe I looked at it after, but when I was shopping for vans, it was this one, and there was a silver one. And the silver one had, it was a 5-speed also, but it had like manual windows. I don't think it was like a super base model. I'm like, this is the DX model, and the DX model is I guess it's not the base model because the other one had less stuff on it. That's what I say, okay? But yeah, I guess this one has the cruise control and the AC and stuff. But the DX model is the lower end model, is what I'm gonna say. After the base model, and then I think the one higher is the LE model, okay, the limited edition version, and that's the one that had like everything, like it's like the interior is nicer and it has like a rear disc brakes and everything. Yeah, that's the fancy model is the LE one, okay, and it had like captain's chairs and stuff sometimes. But anyway, I wound up not getting it. I think that dude put like a MagnaFlow exhaust on it too. I wound up putting an exhaust on this. We'll take a look at it. But anyway, yeah. So and then I wound up buying it from my uncle. My uncle sold it to me for $1,000. So I got this. So this just to tell you, I bought this van for $1,000. I drove it for 10 years, and then now I'm gonna retire it. And the Clean Cars for All program is gonna give me $9,500 towards my RAV4 Prime. All right, that's the only way I could afford this awesome vehicle, and it's not even as big as this one, unfortunately. If to tell you the truth, you know, if they had a Sienna that was a plug-in hybrid, I would buy it, okay? Or if they had a or if they had a Highlander plug-in hybrid, okay? But they don't, and unfortunately, the new Sienna hybrid, it's not as fuel efficient as the RAV4. Okay, the reason I wanted the RAV4 is it gets 40 miles per gallon, literally. It gets the same gas mileage as my Prius. It can go 40 miles on one charge, okay, as an EV, and it's bigger than my Prius, and it's got all-wheel drive, all right? So those are one of the reasons I want to get the RAV4, all right, over this and the Prius, okay? Unfortunately, the RAV4 is smaller than this, but it's bigger than the Prius. So like I said, I'm trying to get a middle ground here, guys. So, but it does have all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, all right? This does not. This is a rear-wheel drive model, okay? And yeah, so anyway, I wound up buying it from my uncle for $1,000, and then now we're gonna retire it 10 years later. And I had a whole lot of good memories with this van, so I will share some nice pictures I took with this van on many of my trips, okay? So like I said, I use it as a camping van. This van has been all over the United States, okay? Mostly California. I use it for dirt biking trips and stuff, right? And to go to racetracks and stuff. So this has been to a lot of racetracks also. Okay, and it has been all over delivering packages. So those are my memories with this van. Okay, good times. All right, so let's go take a look at it.